Bend it over, baby, let me see you do it. Roll that wood up, now get to it. Here for one night, what you doing? Here for one night, you could be who I'm choosing. Do that little thing that you do. 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 Spot lit when I walk up in it. Don't you mention sig on me, so you know I pay attention. Can't go missing on the mission, stacking plenty digits. Tell me if you with it, pop it for some recognition.
Yo, what's up everybody? You know what it is. Ever saw your Jane's cry. This is the Sound Basement Podcast. You're on the Starman Films Global channel. A whole network of shows. We got a whole bunch of them on the Starman Films Global YouTube channel. Y'all make sure to go check those out. We got like 5, 6, about to have 7 and 8 more shows on the lineup. A whole bunch of original content. We're trying to fuck up the algorithm and we need your help. So you got to go over and check all those shows, movies, music videos, podcasts. We got it all. Man, that song on the intro was Papi Francos, Bio. That's B-I-O. Y'all need to go check him out. He's a new Lore Music Group artist. He's on the lineup. He's hitting the fourth quarter hard. Man, we got a whole bunch. Just like every show, man, we always got the hardest artists. Y'all know what it is, man. All right, let's just get right into it. Sorry for the change of background. I got an internet issue, so I'm closer to my 5G. Anyway, had to get that out the way. I just wanted to start off this episode by talking about what cadence is. Cadence seems to be an important subject in the music community, at least from where I sit. Everything that I hear is all about. It's less about what people are saying and more about how they're saying it. It's kind of funky, but we're gonna kind of dive into it and dissect it just a little bit. Just shed a little light on this word cadence, just in case you've heard of it, but you don't know what it might mean. And also, I have a very, very cadence-ridden guest. This guy has a complete sound of his own. He's completely unique. We'll speak with him later on. He definitely has a cadence. Y'all will see. Y'all will see. It's just another episode, baby. Y'all know what it is. Alright, but anyway, what's cadence? Cadence is, in a way, a modulation or inflection of the voice. It's like vocal flavor or color. It's a necessity for making good music. It's unique. Everybody has a cadence, you know. Like, who is it? Project Pat. He has that pause and harmonic, sustain on every other line, the last word every other line. You got Young Thug, who his cadence is a bit slurred, but it's still unique. We got a whole bunch of artists that have created their own lane just by sounding not like anybody else. Half the time you don't even know what they're saying. You just know that shit sounds good. So we all nod our head and we all turn the music up. We all make sure the bass is booming and, listen to the whole song. Cadence. It's a very, very, very powerful tool. Sometimes you don't even really need to be diving that deep into the actual content of the work or the music. Sometimes you just need to make sure that shit will make someone's head bounce a little bit. That's all you need. I don't know. It's a weird thing, cadence. How does an artist acquire cadence? Well, first off, by practice. Separation from other people's work, finding yourself, and then applying it into your own work. It's like vocal swag. You probably have that person around your town that dresses like nobody else. Yeah, he's got swag. It's like vocal swag. It's just another form of being unique in your artistry. Once again, your beat might be good, and you might rap fast, but is that it? Can you actually make it sound good? How and when do you know when a cadence, old or new, is failing you? First off, you can know your demographic and listen to them. If you're an artist doing anything right, you got people that listen to you. So you offer the olive branch of getting some feedback. It might not always be a Facebook post. It might not always be a special little YouTube video that you're putting out to your audience. Sometimes you got to make a song about it. Really call the audience out and say, look, this is me. This is real. If you hate it, stop listening to me. A lot of artists do the same thing. When people were roasting Drake He basically tested the whole audience with views and what is it that the joint was started from the bottom. That whole collective. That was basically him just testing the audience, and then he gained more clout and more followers from it. So it worked out from him. Sometimes you have to call out the audience to get them to test you. Sometimes that's the way that you level up. How do you go about changing cadence? Evolving writing, composition, production skills, speaking between yourself and yourself as an artist. You know, because I'm Sawyer and I'm James Cry. Those are two different entities. Sometimes I gotta deal with something in one way and another thing in another way. You know, there's different entities for different situations, I guess is the most simple way to put it. Anyway, you got to know the boundary between yourself and yourself as an artist, and you have to ride that boundary with everything that you try to create in order to... You ride the boundary of your artistry in order to create something new. You ride the boundary of yourself in order to make that new thing comfortable so that you can do it on the daily. That's the most simple way that I can put it. It's also keeping knowledge and kind people. Is keep knowledgeable and kind people around you. They're kind of like mentors. You know, I got a mentor too. They're very important. They definitely teach me things. Mentors are important for a lot of people. Speaking of mentors, my mentor specifically, I want to dive into this guest, who also is he's a student of my mentor, Mr. Sean Starks, Mr. Hot Sauce, Mr. Stiddy. And this kid, I've been listening to his music for about a month now, and he's already family to one of the originals of Lore Music Group. He's got the sauce. You know, we're gonna ask him about it. We're gonna get him to introduce himself and tell us everything that he's got going on, and then we're gonna showcase a music video of his at the end. Same procedure. Episode 3 of season 2. We're just getting into it, man. Everybody, I want y'all to help me welcome Mr. Papi Francos. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, brother?
Man, it's wonderful to have you, man. Once again, like I said right before the show started, I've heard things about you about every other day. Just how excited the group is to have new people like you, man. You actually bring a new sound that we were kind of missing, but not only just us as a label, but like the world is missing new, unique sounds, and you're a person who provides that.
Yeah.
Therefore,
One, I appreciate you being on your platform, bro. I don't. Anytime I can, just talk to somebody, chop it up, see what they got going on, and we can kind of exchange a rapport. That's always important.
Oh yeah, well, man, this show is all about getting you to any and everybody that's gonna watch this or listen to this. Like I was saying, it's artists like y'all that are really driving this thing. You know, it's hard to be your own artist, so being able to report on the artists that are their own artists, they're not trying to rip or bite off anybody. That's what it's all about for me for this show.
That's really one of the main points that I try to tell everybody. It's like you gotta find your own thing and perfect it. And like I always worried about being in my own lane. Like I don't care what they got going on over there. It don't sound like this.
Oh yeah, well man, that is the main mission. It's always my main goal as an artist too. I'm always telling myself it's got to be original.
Mm-hmm.
I got to keep away from listening to other people's music when I'm in the studio, and I hear a lot about thing from other artists. So I mean, it's an important thing. Otherwise, you'll get roasted by the people. I mean, it happens quick too, and occasionally it'll destroy you.
When I first got started, one big thing was constructive criticism. Like I'm gonna take it. I preach it. You know what I'm saying? I can dish it. I can take it. So it's important.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. That's probably the number 2 thing is being able to take the test and the challenge from the people who are trying to call you out on your work. Sometimes you have to save the level up just for when someone says something, just so you can make it a big event. Be like, I know I can do better, but I'm gonna wait until someone tests me before I do it.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Just boom.
Oh yeah, it's chess, man. It's chess. All right, I'm gonna jump into a couple questions with you, and then we're gonna dive into the whole cadence subject. But
For
first
sure.
off, let's start off with who is Papi Francos?
Man, Papi Francos is a is an artist from the South, born in Durham, North Carolina, raised in Fayetteville, majority of my life back and forth from Atlanta. Um, I grew up in the church. I come from a family of musicians, singers, preachers, prophets. So that's really where it started for me.
Oh man, so you were always you were surrounded by people just being able to, at the very least, just form words that can
Oh
captivate people and grab
yeah,
their attention.
since a baby. So yeah, I kind of grew up in it. Being in the choir. Um, that's asking who was Poppy Franklin's is a really loaded question because I don't
It is.
I'm a
It
very
is.
eclectic person. 'Cause, like, I grew up in the church. In school, I did chorus. Like my path now, it was destined for that. So
See, about 60% of the questions that I ask on the show to anybody are meant to be loaded, because I want it to reach out to the possibility of it going anywhere. Like I
yeah,
really want to find out where the interviewee is going to take it. I
yeah, for
people say, "Oh man, it's your show. You the one leading." I say, "No, I don't lead anything. I just ask questions. They answer it how they want." So yeah, it's supposed to
sure.
be a loaded question, but you answered it in the way that defeats the loaded question. You started with where you're from,
Yeah.
basically how you got into being able to do artistry, and well, how did you go from choir and just being around spoken word
That's a great
people
question.
that work in the spoken word? How'd you go from that to rapping? Because
So
that's a jump.
so I say 2003. I think I was in the third grade. We lived in Atlanta at the time. I was big on I was big on writing. I was big on poetry and haikus and stuff like that. So I just one day I just wrote a rap, just ran into my mom's room. I was like, Mom, I did it. I did it. Like I said, I'm good, son. I said, and I was happy. I just went back in the room, just wrote another one. So it really started. But so like I would be in chorus. So I'm practicing singing Chris Brown songs and all these Neo and all this other. And we had a group. I wouldn't let nobody else be the lead because it's like you ain't got it, bro. So it's like
Oh
I've always
yeah.
mindset of like, nah, I got it. This is what I'm gonna do. But as I got older, like I said, I grew up in the church. So my older cousins, they rapped in the church. Me and my younger cousins, we ended up forming a group and we started doing what they did every Sunday, rapping in church. Till it got to a point to where it's like, I'm not living like this and y'all not living like this. So I can't even follow by example. So
Oh man. Well,
I,
that that
I
that
can't, yeah, yeah. So that's where the transition really was right there. And then I got to talk about my real life, what I'm really doing out here.
Oh man. Yeah, no, yeah. That's probably one of the better answers I've heard about. Like, how did you get into me? That just, yeah, that kind of blew me away a little bit. I like that answer, man.
Well, I mean,
Cause,
like I said, that question is loaded because my mother, she's a musician. I used to always be around her at band rehearsal in the studios. I went with her everywhere when it comes to being in the spotlight. I'm not a stranger to it. My mama used to say, "Poppy, go dance. I'll give you $20." What's up? I'm right there, a crowd full of everybody getting it. Um, I did fashion shows and talent shows as a kid, so auditioning. So I'm not new to being in front of the crowd, being on stage, being in that voice in that room.
yeah, you had very positive encouragement around you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What was family? Speaking of family, like your mother being a musician, is family and loyalty important for that process of being an artist to you?
Yeah, for sure. It's just you know, you know who really supports you when you're going through those times. It's like I'm trying to be all I can be, and I need somebody to be there. You know what I'm saying? And just by going through life, you just see who there for you, bro. Like that's really the only thing I can say about that. Like You be thinking everybody's against you, but everybody's really rooting for you. They just want to see you step out on your tool and then try it, you know?
Oh yeah, no, just hold on. I'm having some camera issues. I don't know if you can tell.
Oh yeah, yeah, I see what's going on. So
I'm listening to every word that you're saying. So yeah, but I truly agree with you. I think that the darkest times bring out the brightest lights in people, and you really find out who's close to you when you get distant. Because people won't stay where they are. They'll
mm,
follow you wherever when they're actually there for you. Hold on, I'm spending a second trying to get my camera connected.
are you straight, bro?
We'll move on to the next question while it does that. Could you describe your own cadence in words? Like well, rather, I'm actually going to attempt to make this less loaded because
Wow.
you laugh and chuckle every time I give you loaded questions. Now I feel like my back's against the wall. Uh, if there was one thing that was important to you in your music making process to make you unique, what would that be? Whether it's how you make your voice sound, where you come in on the beat, just anything.
Hmm. I would. It's two things for me. For me, it's being able to use my voice as an instrument and my writing. Because how I structure my songs, I didn't start out doing that, and I didn't start out I started out playing with the harmonizations and just different sounds. So I always knew that I wanted to stay in that kind of realm. But like my writing is really the main thing because once I go in there and attack, you already know what I'm doing with my voice. I already know what the sound is gonna be. Like that just makes it easy for me.
I understand. Yeah, being able to hear the song before you actually make it definitely
Yeah.
makes it
I'm
easier.
one of those
It
artists. I'll be meeting all these artists and they're like, yeah, I don't write. And I'll be like, wow. Every time I go to the studio with a written song, I always leave with them done. It's like I'm not coming to waste nobody's time because I know what cadence I'm doing, what harmonization's going here, what are run throughs, what are throwaways, what are album cuts. It's just like I'm really a machine when it comes to that. So once I know what I'm doing with my voice, everything else just comes super easy.
Man, so how did all of these things kind of help mold you into Papi Francos today? Like, what experiences did those lessons like lead you to?
Really, I would say just I think every level, right? I started at the bottom of this music. I used to record on the ironing board, and
Oh shit!
I started from there to seeing studios, to being in the official studio, to be having a studio at my house, waking up recording it, to being in like I've been through every level. So with that, gradual, incline, my artistry has gotten better. You know what I'm saying? So I just use that hunger every time I go up in there. It's like, nah, we know where we've been. We know where we started from. We know where the like I just heard one of my songs from 2015 and somebody was like, that's you. I said, yeah, that's me. I don't even listen to my old music anymore. But if you go listen to my first album that I dropped, The Sixth Wave, you will listen to that whole project and then be like, okay, I understand where he came from.
I like it, man. You're a well thought out artist. I got to give it to you. A lot of people they'll head into the studio with no plan, and especially like you said, like going to working in studios and then having one in your home.
Hmm.
People that aren't that lucky will still waste the time of having to go to a studio with no plan, and it bugs the shit out of me. It's like how do you, if I mean if you want other people to take you serious, then you definitely got to take yourself
See,
serious
I,
in your
I try
work
to
ethic.
come at it like very diplomatic because being an artist, if you say something to people, they just be, oh, you hating, or it's just like, no, bro. I've been in different situations and I've seen what wasting money will do and what stretching your money will do. And people be thinking, oh, it's cool. Then, oh, all right, I'll just come off the top. Yeah, you gonna waste your time, and that engineer is just gonna take your money. He's not gonna tell you. Somebody who don't care is gonna do that, but a real person, a real human being. So I'm like, hey, look, bro, we can spend 200 for 4 hours and we can, you know, fuck around, or you can really write some shit and let's put out a dope record.
Yeah,
So
sometimes it just takes having it available whenever you think. It's that's the deep side of it. The simple side of it is just being able to, when you have an idea, going into the other room and working on it.
yeah,
There's never a reason to have a block in work. And I don't know, you talking about levels. Once you hit a certain level, it's like you got to be working on something every week. And
yeah.
you can't go spending hundreds of dollars a
See,
week at the
people think
studio.
people think when you get to a certain level, it's like you being oh, you Hollywood. It's like, nah, bro, I just can't record in your house.
Yeah,
Like,
you get standards. Once you have songs that, I don't know, let's just say Sony are putting out for you,
yeah.
like around lore. I mean, yeah, there comes with a. I've seen the records get declined, just because
Like I told people,
it's not
I've
that.
had I've had one of my records playing on the FM radio in the Netherlands. You think they would have took that if it sounded like it came out of a cardboard box? No. I spent money on that record.
Thank you, thank you.
You know,
And in the end of it, you really can record it out of a cardboard box. But if you got a $2,000 cardboard box that you're recording out of, I'm guessing that it would have like the right type of like
you know what I'm
sound
saying?
insulation equipment. Like
I just be
myself, I
trying to
got a
tell people don't be so afraid to spend that bread. Like I spent money on my craft. I'm talking about from jobs to hustling. The
yeah.
last like I could do this. Man, look, I need 4 hours in the studio. Boom, I'm gonna eat a snack and drink through the whole like some of those decisions had to be made, like it's so many sacrifices that come with being an independent artist. Like people don't understand that. So when I tell people like, yo, Papi, would you sign a deal? Yeah, yeah. But I will sign the right deal. I'm not just gonna give you my whole life because I want to get up out of my situation because God always got something more on the other side.
Yeah, make $1 million just to have to pay it back.
Like what we doing? No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I
Let's
mean
bless. We ain't
that's
doing that.
music nowadays though. It's all about the advance game.
Yeah.
You got to make your own money, but any money that they give you, it's always payback. And
Yeah, we always gonna make sure we on the top end though, so we always gonna be straight.
oh yeah, it's all about outsourcing your own work, man.
Yeah,
That's like rule number one in the executive industry is like just outsource all your own work. Stop going to these huge people. Become the admin, basically. Anyway, jumping back to Cadence, and we'll get back into yours a little bit too. But how would any artist, let's say you mainly focus in hip hop and rap, so how would another hip hop and rap MC artist kind of start to develop their own cadence? Just what's some things that they could practice?
well, to be honest, man, yeah, I do that. I do most. I ain't gonna say mostly. I would probably half it up between hip hop and pop because I go for more of a popular sound. I don't really focus on the rap. I like to I like to rap and infiltrate it with my pop and R&B influences. So
That was good.
me, I would tell people to like, it's weird. I just tell people to listen to the record, man. Like, just listen to the beat. Like, you can do so many things with it. Don't be so like stuck on, yeah, I'm gonna just spit some bars on it and like, bro, just sit and vibe. How can you make this record go crazy? How can you make it sound like something you've never heard? And so, like, when you have somebody in the studio with you and you like, hey, do a highlight on that, do an ad lib. Hey, you see what you was just doing with your voice? Do that behind that. And then when you show people, and it's like, yo, I did that. Like, yes, bro.
Man, there's
You're
some more
not
that
using, you're not, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, there's some more that deep that man, you actually really do think a lot of things through very well. I want to get that to you again because it's I don't know, it's important to have you seem to have a plan for everything and that's important.
Man,
Because and that
I took a lot of losses, bro. I paid for a lot of knowledge and I took a lot of losses, but it's a
yeah,
lesson.
we're not in the game of taking bad risks anymore. Like we gotta go for it if we know that we can take it. Like
Straight up.
for real. Yeah, there's no more time to waste. Like the year
Me,
is
people
now.
can't relate. for me, like if you never been homeless for this, if you never like grinded for this, you can't really relate to my journey or my story of what I've been through already and what I'm still about to go through because the greatest stuff is only yet to come. I'm just
Oh
getting
yeah.
started.
Oh yeah, man. Look, oh, another good answer, man. I gotta give you an applause for that. That was good, man. I really like how humble that you are, and just how well thought out that you are with all of these things that you're going through. It seems like you got a promising future, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna be able to figure shit out. Everybody has their obstacles, but as long as
Yeah.
you can see them before they come, dissect them before they hit you in the face. It, yeah,
See,
you
I do appreciate that, but see, like I told you, just coming from a church family, like bro, I give it to God, bro. Like there's no time to stress on anything. Like I done been down so many times, but I got right back up. Like I'm a hustler. I'm a son of a hustler. So
man.
whenever mom's like, man, yeah, go get that, go do that. We ain't no sitting there. We don't sit around. I never waited for opportunity. I created it. I go get it. Point me to the door. All right, that's all I need. I go knock on it, kick it down, whatever I need to do. So it's like I'm gonna go get that opportunity. Like my journey, like bro, 2015 was the first artist from Fayetteville, North Carolina. To my knowledge, I did South by Southwest, and I did it all by myself, off a work check. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of things that I don't tell people. I don't brag about. I don't like to brag. I'm not that guy. I let the work speak because really I might not get a lot of praise around my way, but people know what's up with me. They know they can't make music like me. I'm gonna keep it very humble, but I also keep it very real, and I don't sugarcoat nothing for nobody because I know
You
myself.
shouldn't. Yeah, you
Yeah.
shouldn't sugarcoat anything. No, you really shouldn't. I mean, once again, we're not in the really in the game of taking bad risks. So,
Yeah.
I mean, just with that alone being said, you might as well give it to people how it is, because if you sugarcoat something, beat around the bush, like I said, you won't have time to dissect those obstacles before they hit you
Nah,
in the face.
I ain't got time for it, bro.
Yeah, for real. You won't have time for anything if you're busy fooling around. Man, what have you learned about cadence? Or rather, nah, let me reword that. What have you learned that cadence can do for an artist? Like whether it's materialistic or just momentary gains, what can cadence do?
I think Cadence can show artists how much of an anomaly they are. It's just like you don't know until you do it. You know what I'm saying? Like don't be
Yeah.
so. I think people are so one noted on being an artist and but don't even know what an artist is. I pride myself in making every type of music. So you can't say, oh, Pop just make pop. He just make rap. He just make R&B. Go listen to a whole project. I'm gonna give you everything. So I try to tell people to just like try some stuff. Like if I send you off a record, 9 times out of 10, I'm sending you something that's outside your comfort zone. You're not gonna come here and do a record with me and think you're gonna be the same person as you're doing with them. Nah, it's different over here. I'm gonna push you to the limit. I want you to sound better than me on this record. Do what you came here to do.
Man, that's like the exact opposite of what you get around the majority of people doing this. They definitely don't want to see you outdoing them or even trying to. But I mean, it's supposed to be that competitive. I do better now. You do better now.
I mean,
I
personally,
do
bro,
better.
I'm not, I can't, it sounds crazy, but you can't compete where you can't compare. Can't nobody make music like me, so it's not a competition. You come here to do you, but I'm gonna always do me, and they gonna be like, yeah,
Well, no, that doesn't sound crazy at all. That's common sense.
yeah,
I mean, that's why they say apples to oranges. Because I mean,
you did.
it gets as simple as that. Like it. No, I mean, first off, find your competition, and then compare yourself to them. Leave
But
everything
see,
else
the
behind.
ego, but see, the ego of the artist is, oh, he don't want to do a song with me, or if he do a song with me, he gonna think I'm better than him. It's like, if you come to me and say, yo, Papi, I want to get on a song with you, okay, let's make it happen. Just don't. If, I'm not gonna think nothing different of you if you change your bars, but if you do that, then I know that you're looking at this different. So now you don't turn the switch off in my head because you don't want me to go rewrite what I just wrote
Oh
because I
yeah,
don't come like that when I'm on a record. I'm gonna do my thing, hmm All right, now you kill it. Because
Man,
really, my verse is the alley. So if you dunk it and you miss it, hey man, it's not coming out.
look, man, that that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be for every artist. That's exactly how we're gonna make each other better and make ourselves better, is if we can actually build off of one another's height. Man, I I like it. I like it. How has your lyric writing, diluting from the cadence topic for a minute, how
Yeah,
has your lyric writing evolved through time? I guess let's start in
it's a great.
between now and when you really started taking your
That's a great
own
question.
artistry seriously. How has your lyric writing evolved? Like just from pen to paper.
Well, that's a great question. Not to be like that. So
I try, man.
from pen to paper or paper to pen, matter of fact, started writing it down. You know what I'm saying? And because, growing up watching Eminem, Jay-Z, just 50, and everybody is like, okay, now I'm putting this down on this paper. So I'm just reading my stuff. And then it got to a point, the technology era, we get on the phones and now I'm walking around in a notepad.
Yeah.
So as far as writing, if we want to talk about technicality of it, but when it comes to being the artist side, when I started, I was too focused on rapping. I could give you a quadruple entendre. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of artist that I was starting out to be. And then everybody kept telling me, yo, Papi, you can rap, but like, you got any songs? You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, so let me go try something. And then, like, on my first EP, my first project, that's where it all really kicked off for me. And then I want to say I got to my second or third project. I can't remember when, but it was just the switch where it's like my hooks, right? That hook. I watched a video with some artist or an exec, and they said, I start at the hook, then I bring that verse. So I was like, okay, I'm not even writing songs. I'm just writing down words that rhyme. I'm not making songs. So I had to, okay, let me really tap in. So kind of artist I am, I go listen to my favorite artists. I go listen to every genre. Okay, how did they write this? It sounded like this. He switched his word when he did this. So now that's how I started crafting my songs. So if people listen to how I even switch up a flow mid verse, that's on purpose. Like I'm doing this on purpose. So it's like I want to remain different because I want to be like, yo, Poppy's music always sounded different. It didn't sound like you can play my music then play Post Malone. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna enjoy both sounds because they sound so different.
So
You can play mine. So I'm really proud of it on.
would you call that listening to other people's work, and let's just say listening to your work compared to other people's work, like the Post Malones, the Bruno Marses, would you say that that is a good way for an artist to give themselves a hint when their cadence is off? Do you think
hmm
comparison
That's
is a good hint?
that's what I tell them to do. I tell people go listen to your favorite artist or your favorite singer or whatever you're trying to do. Go listen to them and take that as a template. Then it's like, okay, I can do this with my voice. Or I can hum. Like for example, Kid Cudi is one of the biggest influences on why I do a lot of my harmonizations in the background. I put
Hmm.
that on to give it some extra body to it, but it's a reason I do that because I like the way it made me feel when I heard it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it and to me it sounds like you give a lot of good advice to the people that you speak to about artistry. But do you personally have others around to help with your skills or to help you hone your own skills? Are there any like family, friends, loved ones, mentors?
Probably, I mean, I got probably a homie or two, but other than that, bro, I just it's just me.
Yeah, it's self-made. So you are the guy that's handing out the advice.
Yeah, bro. Pretty much like I said, I spent money for this information. I took losses for this information. So I really been the one who showed a lot of my peers how to do certain things. And because I just want to see people win. Like if you my mans, I'm gonna try to help you. But if you don't listen, that's on you. I try to tell my people all the time, stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready. But don't wait on me and think I'm gonna just bring you up here with me, what I'm trying to do, because it's like I've always had I just started stepping into me being the person that's gonna have to be the one to kick the door down. So if you can't come behind me, if you can't support me, and then while I help try to build this up, and then I can build you up, then that's just where I'm at right now.
I think you're right along the exact path that you need to be in terms of being that person to kick the door down, because it does seem like it, becoming the person that's going to really put the balls to the wall and go the extra distance that's needed in this
Yeah,
industry. It seems like it's a real slow progression towards becoming that person till one day it's in your face and you gotta, it's now or never.
you
So
gotta stay down.
yeah, I mean it's real important but that's more of just that planning coming into play. If you're a good
Yeah,
planner, then you can really plan out that slope to work in your
man.
favor.
Look, I'm on my third, fourth notebook, man. I got the next 10 years, 5 years plan, man.
Oh yeah, man. So now, I want to touch back on that lyric evolution question because something's been bugging me
Hmm.
in the back of my head. So you in terms of your writing, how you actually, let's just say, arrange a song together in your lyrics, is is there a simple way to put it where what it's turned into nowadays? Like, obviously there are verses and hooks, but
Yeah.
do you sprinkle pre-choruses in? Do you have interludes? Do you work on intros and outros? Like,
So
what really are the thought processes that lead to what it turns into?
so I haven't done a interlude probably since my first project, really, which a lot of my supporters really been asking me to bring back. Um, so I'll probably start integrating that like I used to, but for the most part, it's just hooks, pre-choruses, you know. Some songs they got two verses, some just got a hook, a pre-chorus, and a verse. So really just depends on the record, um, just how I'm feeling. Because I don't know, it's just some production doesn't call for the whole shebang. You know what I'm saying? Some
Yeah.
records just call for a vibe and a lyric, or you know, it just depends on the record. But for me, when it comes to writing these records, I take my influences from like Missy, Busta, M, Hove, Luda. Like when it comes to like trying to craft it, you know what I'm saying, and killing with a different flow and switch my voice up and things like that. So when it comes to doing that, bro, it's just really trying to take something and mold it into something else.
So you really do a lot of homework and referencing when you're working on just one song.
Yeah,
You'll go back and you'll reference what you're working on with other great hits, and you'll find a way to just transform that idea, or rather, just its arrangement and composition itself into your own
yeah.
piece.
I don't know how I got like that, but yeah, that's how
No, that's a tricky business because a lot of that I stay away from doing things like that because if I listen to other people's music, even just the same day that I work on a song or production, composition, whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
I'll make my song their song and not even realize what I'm doing. But
I,
someone who can take the influences, yeah, all right,
okay.
well, yeah,
No, like, cause I
how do
want to
you
take
do
from
that
that.
without making their song?
Okay, so for me, right, let's say like Kid Cudi's humming.
Yeah,
So I listen to Man in the Moon, just vibe out to a few tracks, cause that's the kind of the vibe that's on my record. But when I go in the studio, I'm not gonna hum. I'm going to sing. You know what I'm saying? He did it. He went high, low, high. All right, so let me see if I can sing. Then I'm gonna harmonize it with this, you know. You know what I'm saying? That's how I take from it. So it's like I'm not coming in and doing the same thing that he's doing,
yeah.
pinpointing something. Okay, how can I shoot this target in a different way?
So
Basically, that's
you're really precise with what you're gonna take the influence from in a song. Like it's definitely not gonna be the whole track, but even just one input, like a hum.
like Yes, like
And
when I go to
that's
like
all you need for an influence for a whole song?
yeah, that's it. Cause for me, like I'm a machine, bro.
Okay.
I can write 6 songs at one time. Like when I'm in
That
my phone, I go from okay, I'm boom boom boom. Oh, just different idea. Put this beat on. Okay, let me finish this for this verse. That's just really how I operate. And say I got a 6 hour session, or if I got a 6 hour session, I'm coming out of that session with 7 songs. Cause I already know what I'm doing. I don't need time. I just need to come lay it down, engineer, do what you do, next record. I don't I don't really play when I'm in there. There's no time to play. I'm coming with something that's heat. We're not coming in trying anything. I tried it when I'm at home writing it.
you know, hey man, that's it. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. Once again, and not just having a plan when you can go in the studio. What are what were tipping points, or rather, just main events, or rather, major obstacles in your music career that helped form who you are today?
Ah, that's another
You
good
don't you
question.
don't have to be you don't have to be precise on these answers. You can just you can be vague.
Well, no, that's a great question, man. I appreciate you asking that.
Yeah.
Ah, man, it's a plethora of things, to be honest. Um, but I say some tipping points for me were like being living in the car. Uh, I'm gonna give you goods and bad, you know.
Yeah.
But living in the car from being around rappers, casual talking to them, showing them my music, to being on stage with them, to being backstage, to just chilling at the mansion. Like, man, I done been almost killed by a SWAT team for being black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done lived through different things. I done, you know, dodged bullets, things like that. So all those things that I've been through, man, they make this artist of who you speaking with at this junction.
So just a lot of back and forth, up and down. I'm guessing a lot of this happened close together too.
Yeah, I've never had, man, since probably 16, 17. I've never been fully up. I've always been hit with ups and downs, spurts of good, more down, spurts of good. So I just take it how it come. I just charge it to the game, and but just always I stay positive. Like I don't got no time to be sad. I done did the depression. I done went through that. That's done.
Oh
That
yeah,
didn't make that didn't do nothing for me.
one thing about music is it is never stagnant. It's not a waiting game. It's a get up and go do the next move game. It's full of ups and downs. Uh, oh, I lost my place. What are your thoughts on? Well, rather, I guess with all the ups and downs that you went through, I'm guessing that kind of removed expectations from your
Oh yeah.
mindset, right? It kind of just made you a little bit more level headed on what might be to come.
Well, to be honest, man, the expectations for me, like, it wasn't to do music. Like I did music, but the expectation was for me to go to college for culinary arts.
Oh, that's a
So
good one.
after that didn't fall through, I ended up, just hustling, doing what hustlers do.
So yeah, it definitely removed some of those expectations for it. Made you a little bit more versatile, and
Yeah.
it made you be able to bend a little bit more for whatever's to come. What are your thoughts on just people setting expectations on themselves in general in the entertainment industry?
I think you should set expectations because a lot of people are gonna put their doubts on you. But like for me, I have all my goals written down and I'm checking them off one by one. So you can't deter what I got going on. And you have to set those good expectations because you have to know where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Like know your path, know what's going on, know what you need to spend your time, your money, and your energy on.
So you more or less charge expectations and chalk it all up to goals.
Yes.
You changed it from this is what I've got to do to this is what I'm going to do. And you just worked to that. Yeah, I mean, so you took an idea and then you worked for it. Simply put, you worked
But
for exactly what you wanted. It was never an expectation. It was a
it's
goal.
never expectation. This was gonna happen. This is
Yeah,
manifestation. Come from a
that
family of prophets. This is what's gonna happen.
That is the one and only right answer to that loaded question. A plus. Definitely the one and only right answer to that. Well, well, let's see, we're 45 minutes in. Yeah, we'll start closing it off. What are you working on most in your music right now? Whether
Mm,
it be a cadence or a certain tone.
wow, you got some great questions, man.
I appreciate it, man.
So
I've worked real hard on these shows.
that's a great question. So right now I'm working on expanding my personality experiences and just that's it. Keep keep doing the same, beat selections and everything I'm doing, but just giving people a little bit more personality about me. And that transitions over to the content and videos, but just telling people more about me, who I am, because that's what they want to hear, right?
So you're just stepping more into the lane that you're working towards anyway, exposing yourself a little bit more, and in turn that gives you
Yeah,
more to talk about, write about, make music about.
yeah.
It all works together.
I gotta show a little bit more of my flaws and who I am as a person, my being a big brother, being a family man, and things like that, like things I went through. Certain things I can't talk about, but certain things I can come from perspective about and just show people like, yeah, it's all right. We gonna be all right,
Oh yeah. Well, speaking of perspective, what's a bit of perspective that you can give to all generations of artists? What's some advice that you can give to them, old generation, new generation, of how they can keep themselves relevant in their own head and kind of just turn those expectations into goals, keep themselves in their own lane, pushing towards what you're really working for. Just any type of advice that'll keep people going.
See, my advice for kind of keeping people on track will probably be to like know where you want to go, like know what's your end goal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easier for me to attack when I know what the end goal is. When it's not something that's out of my reach, it's something that I can obtain, but I have to work at a certain speed or tenacity to obtain it. So I just kind of tell people, know it's in your reach, but like don't ever settle for nothing because all right, I can say I'm gonna
Boom.
drop. I want to do 500K, but boom, nah, I'm doing a million. So it's like that's just how I tell people to look at it. And even from the older people, it's like for my fan base, I have older people that listen to my music, and I did that on purpose because I need something that's gonna hit the kids, the teens, you know what I'm saying? I need something for everybody so they can be like, okay, son, I understand what you're coming from because I don't preach killing. I'm not preaching death. I'm not preaching nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I want you to be able to come and listen to it and vibe with me. Then have something you can smoke to, something you can drink to, something you can, you know what I mean? And something you can
So
turn on where the kids go crazy. I just trying to give something that everybody can tap in with.
so your advice to the generations of artists would be to just be able to connect with the generations of artists between all generations. Man, I'm
Hmm.
getting some real simple answers from you that are just like they're spot on, but you're putting them so simply put that there's no way I can break these answers down because you're giving it to me, you're giving it to the viewers and listeners exactly how it is.
Man, I'm
It's
not gonna lie to you. I have a lot of information inside my head, so when I talk, I just, I get to going sometimes. But
oh
you've had some very great questions. In past interviews I've done, people think I'm media trained. I'm not media trained. I just study the game. I study the business. I watch interviews. I literally study this whole business. That's why can't nobody play with me on any level.
yeah, bro. Yeah, I didn't go to I didn't I didn't go to professional musician school myself either.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it sometimes it just takes that, like 3 4 years of Google and YouTube and just a hell of a
Look,
lot of commitment. Being able to spend 16-hour days in the studio just until you can perfect what you're working for.
I'm telling you, it's important.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, that back to the advice. all generations, just be able to connect all generations. Whether if you're old, connect more with the young. If you're young, connect more with the old. That's really what Papi's trying to say here.
You don't gotta change who you are. You just gotta learn to adapt, man. That's it.
Oh yeah, you got to be fluid. You got to be versatile. The first episode of season 2, we talked a whole bunch about fluidity. You're just sitting here. You're talking to me. Oh my goodness, I'm getting a call. You're just sitting here proving to me why being fluid in your art and your music is so important. Well, before we actually close this off with your music video, I want to give you a chance to rep all your shit that you got coming up, whether it's music, shows, videos, events. Go ahead and just list it all off. You got you literally have 5 minutes for it.
Oh, nah. So, right now I'm working on the mixtape. Nah, I haven't dropped the title yet, but I got the mixtape coming. It's called "Internet Killed the Radio Star."
That's a good throwback.
Dropping a 2-parter. So part 1 will be coming out real soon, the month of September. I'll be walking in New York Fashion Week, September 9th, and I'll also be in Miami for Labor Day weekend, walking another, runway. But other than that, man, yeah, we get into the videos, getting these videos shot, putting out the mixtape, and pushing this record to the radio. That's out right now.
Oh yeah, man.
I just sent that. I just sent that to my my people over there at 102 Jams. So about to get this radio pushing. Just gonna take it there.
Nah, man, I love it. I've listened to a few times just in the past few days, man. That's a head bopper. Every time I listen to it, it doesn't matter what I do, I start doing like this. What the fuck?
I appreciate it, bro.
I can't stop, man. It's too good, man. You got real fluid music. You can go here and there with it. I like it.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't heard nothing yet.
So that's all that you got coming up. Just more music. Expect more music. You got music coming up, and then after that you got music, and then a little bit after that you got some music coming.
You got music, content, modeling, music. Like it's nonstop. I've been putting out music all year, man. Like, I ain't stopping for nothing.
I love it, man. Well, y'all heard a mixtape on the way, September 9th, Fashion Week. Everybody's heard about that. Really, I can't stop hearing about that shit. Everybody that I know now is involved in it. Very last question before we close it off. What can everyone listening, speaking of expectations, what can everyone listening expect from you in the near future?
Y'all can expect Papi Francos to be one of them.
Cut. That's all you need. That was a perfect answer, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Papi Francos. That was definitely top 3. And now we're gonna get into something real special. This is Papi Francos and his song and his music video for Pick 6. Everybody, check that shit out.
This one for the 6 side. Told the Lord I never switch sides. I take yours, you take one of mine. If you ain't paying, don't waste my time. This one for the 6 side. Told the Lord I never switch sides. I take yours, you take one of mine. If you ain't paying, don't waste my time. Back in school, laying with my head down, used to get frowned upon. Now you wanna be around. It's just life, what can I say? Put me on the stage, take the pain away. I need it. You ain't know me when I had the fro, huh? Nah. Still pulling holes, yup, probably pull forward. Hit bloody on the line, like I need a couple lines. When we catch you, it's a crime, there won't be another time. Never put my trust in anybody from the other side. Homie got shot on the block, huh? She hanging with the ops, so I blocked her. Rest in peace, Shams, I'm a prosper. Dale, baby. Might roll up a Fronto, moving work, transporter, auto. I got dropped like auto, in the room throwing cash like I hit the lotto. Rather smoke my pain, fuck a bottle. This one for the 6 side. Told the Lord I never switch sides. I take yours, you take one of mine. If you ain't paying, don't waste my time. This one for the 6 side. Told the Lord I'll never switch sides. I take yours, you take one of mine. If you ain't paying, don't waste my time. I need that bag. This one for the 6 side. This one for the 6 side.
That shit has been long overdue, nigga. For us to do this video together, bro. Come on, man. This shit crazy. Violin Wizard, the Prophet, man. Stop.
It's what Kelly.
I'm a big fan of his music, man. He already know that shit.